Hey everybody, it's Brett for a quick weekend update here on the crypto markets. Obviously, things are rip-roaring and going higher on the altcoins. So, a couple things I want to just lead off with. These weekends are not moving with participation from Wall Street. Volume is down, so we can't really rely on this. Nothing really happens without Wall Street's permission anymore, especially with Bitcoin, because it's essentially a Wall Street product now with the IBIT ETFs, etc. So, this could be an exhaustion move, and I would be looking to take profits here on any move up into this 107, 108 range on Bitcoin. We're seeing a lot of these altcoins also hitting the upper Bollinger Bands. Again, these are our custom proprietary Bollinger Bands and created for cryptos especially. So when we start hitting those upper Bollinger Bands with our Bollinger Band Pro and the modified settings, invariably it's really a kind of a market top area. So Solana, I have sell orders in for at 180. I did sell some at 170. We had this nice push up. I think Solana does go higher. I'm not sure why my zigzag here is so janky. Maybe I'll just redraw that. But we're hitting that upper Bollinger Band and the upper edge of the sell blocks. So again, visualizing where the sellers are in that order block detector. So I think, more reasonably, we'd see some kind of pullback into this range to the rising 21 and 50-day EMA. Then we break up, retest, and some variation of this. Not going to follow it exactly, probably, but seeing something like this where we push up here, come back down. I think this money flow here is really solid. We have the moving averages really tight here. If I were to put on the EMA ribbon, we can see these are ideal setups. But generally, we will see some kind of pullback, some profit taking on the daily time frame. Have been at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row, and maybe it continues into tomorrow, and then we sell off into Monday. I would be looking to reacquire and re-enter Solana and many of the other altcoins on any pullback here. It does kind of feel like we're heading into an alt season, a mini alt season with Bitcoin dominance kind of pushing up as high as it has and then starting to revert back down a little bit. All right, let's take a look at some other coins and just kind of go through this real quick. Just want to give you guys an update. Let me kind of get rid of all this, some of the noise rather. We'll turn off the EMA ribbons, but it is nice that we're seeing the prices back above all of the various exponential moving averages. And of course, looks like we're heading into new upward trending parallel channels, very bullish. And that's what we like to see. As soon as we can identify a new upward trend and a new upward trending channel, we want to be in these. We want to be buying at the lower edge of the channel and riding it up, selling into these areas. So this is a look at helium and some of the other ones we've been watching. A couple that I recommended yesterday are doing great. Stacks is looking good, pushing up here toward that upper Bollinger Band, but I don't see any sell pressure. This is good for Stacks. I'm not seeing any sell blocks on the daily. Let's look at the weekly. All right, so in the weekly, we're kind of in the middle of one. We still haven't figured out quite why they don't always overlap, but this is fine. We have a nice thick money flow block just below and a bullish engulfing candle on the weekly, and that TSI momentum wave turning up above 20. Love that. And the signal line is green. So Stacks is finally looking really good. I think my targets here probably still intact. I think we could hit $10 this cycle. So we're at a dollar now. Imagine if we could 10x on this. The big question is, though, and I'm going to jump back to Bitcoin, and we are pushing up higher into this region on Bitcoin, and is it a triple top kind of forming? We have to break through this time, the third or fifth attempt. So a rejection here might pull it back for a week or so in this range to give it the support on the rising EMAs on the weekly to push up, and likely we'd see something like this again. Although, stay with me and I'll tell you, give the the exception. And sometimes it doesn't let me draw over these. Trading view is really temperamental sometimes. I want to see this, that, there. So kind of a breakthrough, come back, retest, and then resume. Sometimes Bitcoin, this is the exception. Sometimes it just goes up, breaks new highs, and doesn't turn around. On the real move, it doesn't always do that. And so we want to keep an eye on that very closely here. Now's the time to be paying attention. If we do jump over and look at the Bitcoin dominance here, it's starting to fall a little bit, kind of pushed up into a range where there was a bunch of sell blocks up in this range. It looks like they've been cleared. Wait, let me go to the daily. They're probably, yeah, there they are. So Some profit taking on Bitcoin dominance here. These money flow blocks. So money's flowing out of Bitcoin at this key level. Why? It's a former resistance area back in here, and profits being taken out of Bitcoin going into some alts. We're seeing a little bit of an altcoin mini. I won't say it's altcoin season. It's really not altcoin season until this thing starts breaking down, but it is looking to like it is kind of it's breaking. All right, well, it's breaking down below the 50-day exponential moving average, so this should be good for altcoins and alt season. I did just post a graphic, and we're not in alt season according to that other place. Look in the M3 chat for that signal, and not quite there, but it's looking like it's headed that way. So that's interesting. All right, who's benefiting? ETH dominance. Look at that. ETH really kicking up here, and that's Wiley, the thing here, Wiley Devil. We were selling out of ETH, kind of saying, hey, it's not really looking good. New information equals new decision, everybody. The money's flowing out of Bitcoin into Ethereum, and we can see that there. I would not chase it here. We're up above the upper Bollinger Band, getting that red bar here on the daily. This money flow, this is an obvious footprint though, money leaving Bitcoin into Ethereum, and so new information equals new decision. I'm not ready to buy it yet, however, because look, it's going to hit resistance on that 21-week EMA, and it's not quite there yet. It's looking pretty good, but I still like Solana here as a stronger candidate, and always trying to be aware of my own confirmation bias. But Sol dominance is in a position to move, but it's not quite there yet. But on the daily chart, it is looking better than these. So, it's good to watch both. So that's Helium. We looked at Stacks, also looking good above this sort of 89-cent support level. Hey, Stacks is $1, you guys. You can imagine if it goes to 10, if you could turn 1,000 into 10,000, how many times would you want to do it? So also Ondo looking very strong. Of all of the RWA projects, and sort of a DPIN project as well, I really like this chart. Ondo, I would be adding to these positions here. Looks good on the daily. Look at that rising trend line. Guys, we've been saying, I think I called this exactly right, almost exactly right. Higher lows coming out of a buy block zone, and then we have this money flow block printing. Okay, so this is not valid here anymore, but if we were to take this kind of Fibonacci and redraw it, where the prices came down to around here, that puts us at potentially on Ondo with this going up to, say, $5 or $6. A 6x would be pretty nice, even a 3x up to this range in the upper range of the parallel trend channel. It's a mouthful. So Ondo, though, I do think is going to be a leader. Lido Finance trying to catch up. I'll look at that in a minute. Sui has also been looking pretty strong, but not as strong, not quite as strong. Some order blocks in here, money flow blocks, but it has some resistance here. Sui, it's okay, but I think Ondo's is going to lead, and I'm liking the charts on Aptos. It's got to clear these sell blocks down here, but it's starting to put in a rounded bottom. And our signals going green there on the daily and weekly time frame, starting to. So it's still early for alts. AIOZ looks like it's trying to punch through these, but I do want to caution you guys that when we get up to the upper Bollinger Bands on some of these, like Filecoin, I wouldn't be chasing this. I'm zeroing in on that upper Bollinger Band. Probably, I don't know if it pulls back. It could still push up here to this 350 range, where you should be taking some profits is when price gets up to the upper Bollinger Band and it's the midpoint of an order block detector. If you don't have the signals yet, make sure to go to cryptomastery.org. You need to have these, especially now in this bull run. OGN starting to push up, trying to take out these sell order blocks. This is, you guys know it's the founder and original engineer of YouTube and some other smart people from Facebook. However, OGN, I would not chase it here. Double sell blocks. You see a vertical red line, meaning it's currently above that upper Bollinger Band. Invariably, these sell off at the end of the day, back down below. Very low volume. So this is weekend pricing, kind of people moving price, trying to get sort of not, pump these, not necessarily pump and dump, but pump their bags and sell into new buyers as those start to come in. I've been having some internet trouble here, so this thing's trying to catch up. Stay with me, though. I do want to get over onto, say, DOT and some of these other coins. Not really sure what's going on with the connection, so I'm just going to keep on talking here and hopefully that catches up. So we're also looking at Polkadot up 10%. INJ I recommended yesterday. It's up 13, 14%. Drift, have a small position there. Not too big. Render starting to look good. And then I'm sort of debating about buying some Chainlink and some Lido. Gala is looking good. I would put a buy recommendation on Gala, but it's not on Coinbase. I know many of you are not trading on are only trading on Coinbase. But here, let's look at DOT here. This is a good example where it's above its upper Bollinger Band. This is likely going to pull back here, and so I wouldn't chase it here. These things almost invariably never close above that upper crypto Bollinger Band. That's our version of it, right? So I would wait till end of day, maybe wait till tomorrow, see if we see a sell-off. Generally also, when we get this far above the 21 to 50-day EMA, we do see some retracement. So 3 big days in a row. I would expect, I'd put a buy limit order right in here, right in the midpoint around $4.60, maybe $4.75. Just, every little bit counts. But Polkadot's looking very strong. I do have some. Let me jump back to INJ. Same thing, above its upper Bollinger Band. 4 up days in a row. This likely pulls back a bit. It's really rare that these things close above and continue higher. It's getting overextended. And so is it possible? I guess, with all the money flowing out of Bitcoin. But I'm going to play the odds. And I have a small position, but I'm not adding to it. I want to wait for some sell-offs into tomorrow, maybe Monday. The tensions are heating up between Pakistan and Iran. Not really sure where that goes. People, the markets love these news-driven fear sell-offs. Drift protocol, I like the chart. It's in a little bit of a sell block, but look at that 21 crossing above the 50. Guys, on the one hand, don't get too overextended, too diversified. Then again, if you start seeing these chart patterns, 21 over the 50, even render starting to look attractive. I have a little bit of render, which is why it's green. Very small amount. I'm waiting to add to this. I don't love that it has all this sell pressure up here, but if enough money's coming out of Bitcoin, certainly could run these things. Same thing with Link. All the sell pressure here. Could it? I'm really, here's what I'm looking for: the likelihood that these will double or more. And the problem when there's all these big sell blocks, it means there's lots of sellers there. Makes it less likely to get there and sort of double. And that's why I haven't bought Link. And same thing with Lido. It's above that upper Bollinger Band. I'd like to see it pull back here. I think I'll move Lido up a little higher. Man, I just took my eyes off that thing for a couple of days. And I was looking at it back here. I'm like, this doesn't look right. And then boom, it popped and then it had money flow. So Lido Finance is looking pretty good on any pullback. So you could be watching those. Gala Games, like I said, is looking good. I wouldn't buy it up here above the upper Bollinger Band. If any pullback here is good if you can get it, if you're on Binance or have some access to it. But I do like this kind of candle here, bullish engulfing, seeing the TSI above 20. Guys, I've been saying this weekly TSI is our road to riches here. It's so good. It shows the real momentum happening in the markets. So, I won't say I told you so, but I told you so. And so a little bit of tough love. ICP even looking pretty good here on the daily time frame. Look at the money flow. This is significant that those are real buyers. And look at that. Look at that rocket on this rising trend line. Our rocket indicator won't flag it because it's set up for moving averages, but I see a rocket on ICP. And look at that, you guys. I'm going to move ICP up as well. This is kind of the problem. We start seeing so many good-looking opportunities, and you really need to have a filter in place. So if ICP, for example, were to go from here, this would be a 1.5x. This would be a 2.3x just to this old local high. And that's pretty nice. I mean, that's pretty good. So at least it's getting a double. Let's see, a green TSI on the 4-hour. I think I've got this loaded here. Let me just jump over to the 4-hour chart, and then we'll go full screen again. All right, so green TSI on the 4-hour chart. Let's see what's going on over here. And what was that all about? Was it, that makes no sense at all. 4-hour, 1 hour, I'm just checking all my settings. So Sol getting real close. Sol's going to hit 180 and sell off. So hopefully I can get this to you in time. I would take some profits at 180. This thing is going to come back down around the 170, maybe even lower to retest. And it's a good time to take some profits. You can't go broke taking some profits. Now, what that alert was on the 4 hour, I'm not sure. I think might be the signal line, and but we're getting a little overbought on this TSI on the 1 hour, 4 hour. Was it? Let's see. Was it an ERI Pro? No. Look at that. Lots of money flow. Money flow keeps coming in on Solana. That's why you don't want to sell a lot of it. We want to keep maybe 25% of your trading capital. Take 25% out, taking profits to DCA by lower, but keep the majority of it in. We know Solana, once it starts to run, it really likes to run, but it's a prudent thing to take some profits off the table. So anyway, let me jump back over here. Won't go into all of the various charts, but look at that ICP. Looking good. Another thing you can do is start taking profits on some of these as they go up and start buying altcoins. The whole strategy, Bitcoin, take profit, put it in altcoins. You can do that with Sol, and you can do that with, ETH is just starting to get moving. But I think with Bitcoin pushing up, I'm going to set an alert here to right at 109K. Let's just take a look at this for a second, see what's going on. Yeah, there's lots of sell pressure up in that range, and that's going to be a bit of an issue. So I would say right here, okay, 106. Yeah, if it hits 107.8, let's say 108K. I'd probably be taking some profits on here. Just, I'd rather, here's the thing, you guys. I'd rather take some profits here, not all of it, but some, because these things usually do what? They usually kind of push up, as this graphic shows, goes up, back, and retest. So, we've got scenario one. Come on, you guys. Scenario one, where we kind of reject and go lower. So in that case, you want to have some dry powder to buy back lower. Or scenario two, this kind of thing. And therefore, if it does that, if you're selling some here and it goes higher and it retraces, you just buy it back here into strength. That's the strategy. I don't have any fancy names for it, but we've covered that quite a few times. And so that being said, right, that midpoint, I'd say 107 and 108. I'm going to be taking some profits up there. I'm just going to do it. And I don't care if I'm wrong. And I'll still have some skin in the game. You guys have noticed also they moved the messages over here. So I'm going to say TP sell, maybe half, maybe a third. I haven't decided yet. Maybe a quarter. I'll just do that. And then I'll copy that because I'm going to do it also at 108. So this is how, you can kind of dollar cost average your way to compounding your bags. And, it's possible that Camel's right. There's a lockout trade coming, but that's the way I'm going to keep the majority position. We hate to see, we're going to these red boxes and then we're like, well, it's going to go right through it. And then, of course, in hindsight, back in here, what did we have? We had a bear market correction, bull market correction. But it was significant and sizable. So, my advice to you, take some profits on the way in these sell zones. So let's see, just going back through these, I think we covered everything. INJ looking pretty solid. And on any pullbacks here, I might actually come in and do some buy limit orders. Just, look, if this thing sells off here, probably comes to the midpoint on here. What else can we see in terms of prior price action? Let's see here. I'll try to draw this again. And that would be support. So we're, flipping that back as support. We'd like to see it retest around $13. So what can we do? Send an alert, copy down, or crossing down rather, at $13, right? So it's we're just taking the emotion out of this. And so you guys, I recommend you do the same. And depending on where you're watching this, we might throw it up on our YouTube channel after you guys get it first, of course. And if you are watching this somewhere else besides our paid groups, the private client groups, and you want to get more timely information like this, cruise on over to moonstream.io. That's moonstream.io. And check it out. And our moonstream.io/M3 for our private daily chat and weekly classes and updates like this. And you can also check us out, our newest edition, Moonstream Academy. bitcointalchemy.com/start for some beginner level training if you're just getting started in all this. So anyway, that being said, thanks everybody. Let me know if you have any questions in the M3 chat or private clients or the Retire Rich chat, depending on where you're watching this. Just wanted to get an update out. I guess I'll leave you with this. Don't have FOMO. I would not be racing out to buy these things because it's a bad habit, and we know they generally will pull back down. In fact, for this INJ, I would be, what time is it? So, okay, so it just rolled over the time. It's 8 p.m. Eastern. I was about to put my foot in my mouth and say I would be shocked if we didn't sell off down below this by the end of the day. But we did close above it, so any retracement would probably be small. I'd say around $13, though, would be a good place to set some buy limit orders on INJ. So that's all I have for you guys. I want to get this out to you right away, and hopefully you guys get a chance to watch this tonight. Do be paying attention. It's go time. And, you know, this is kind of that maybe the beginning of the parabolic rise. Whether Bitcoin is topped or not, I don't think so. I still have 150K target, maybe higher, maybe 200K in it. But this is it's a changing of the guard. Bitcoin's hitting resistance area, money's flowing out, and it's going into alts. And so don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Let's take it. Let's move some capital into alts. We've been well positioned in these already. We've been buying these and watching these for weeks now, if not longer. So, all right, cheers, everybody, and hope you have a good weekend. Bye.